I don't yell and constantly scream at my children. I've learned by a lot of the things that I've learned at Head Start how to talk to them, come down to their level, and talk with them, not at them.
The hope is in our younger generations that we have to teach them. We have to teach them tolerance and what happens when tolerance no longer exists.
One of the beauties of a program or a project like this is that there's not a lot of room for failure. In a school setting, it seems we set kids up for failure.
I just believe that when you say you're a professional in anything, certainly not just acting, when you announce that you are a professional, what you're really announcing is that you're a student for the rest of your life.
I think you can take a child, regardless of the economic background, and instill in them a positive self-esteem, a positive outlook on education, which is critical here in the United States, and that will carry them through.
If you don't nurture your child, she doesn't learn.
Personally, I think tolerance is extraordinarily important to be taught because you are living in the United States, but all across the world next to people who may be different from yourselves. And the truth is that they're not different. They're individuals. They have a heart, a mind, and a soul.
As Mrs. Clinton has said, that diversity is our strength.
You are committed to excellence that you will take with you into the public school system.
Welcome to Live and Learn. While in production for our first episodes, I was constantly asked why I was inspired to do a show which focuses on education. Well, quite simply, when I was in school, I was a standout student. I was always standing out in the hall. So to do a show which focuses on individuals correcting educational problems is a natural, but to focus on advancements is essential. This is what we consider to be a typical learning environment. However, Live and Learn will show you unique and growing educational concepts, which we can incorporate into our own lives. This brings us to our first planned episode on the Head Start program.
I was an invited parent last year, and if you would have told me then that I'd be up here presenting these awards today and being, part of planning this, I would have told you were crazy. But I want to tell you that's what Head Start does for you. And not only did they give me a head start, I think they kind of gave me a rolling push.
I have 3 children, and with each one I learn more and more. I've learned to have more patience. I came from a background to where I was, corporal punishment was the main source of discipline, and I've learned to not use that at all. That's not the correct way. There's other ways to do it, and it works. And it's very important for the children because they become such well-rounded children and learn to communicate better with you, and you can become closer with your children that way.
I believe that I have seen a lot of growth in the handicapped children, that they make more effort now that they're with the other children, and they try and do the same things, and by the end of the year they're doing the same things as the other children.
I feel that the schools should offer more of an opportunity for parents to become involved, just as Head Start does, to become an advocate for your child, to make decisions within the school system.
Not only is Head Start an academic program, but I think there's also a level of emotion that we are bonded together early, even before the formal schooling starts, that we know where our parents are and we feel their support, and we get to know them at an early stage, so any prevention that's necessary can happen at a very, very early age.
And I found out that being a parent is important. I'm not just a parent anymore. I'm a parent, and I can stand up and voice my opinions.
We will also be visiting a Head Start classroom and playing parent for the day, completing our understanding of what the Head Start program means to parents. A further episode will discuss views on teaching tolerance. More than half of the hate crimes in America are committed by youths. We'll direct your attention to the response taken by educators and at the interactive Museum of Tolerance in Los Angeles.
It is absolutely necessary that young people, school-aged, high school-aged, and older children have to learn about what happened in the World War II era and what happened in the concentration camps, especially now that you have revisionists who tell you it never happened in the first place.
Part of this museum, one of the films that we show is on civil rights, and there's actually a part of it, there's a man who's saying, a black man saying, "Could I pray here?" And a white man saying, "No, you can't pray here. I don't think you can pray here because your prayers don't even get above your head." And every time I see that, I just think this poor white man who was raised with this horrible idea of what equality is all about.
As it happens, I am one of the survivors in Germany, from Germany. Most of my family died in Auschwitz, and this wall of righteous people here, they are the ones who hit us, and this is the reason why a few members of my family have survived.
Try to work things out. I don't think it's that hard. It's just people don't want to try. It's all in trying, you know?
Well, when I very first came in, I didn't know what to expect. But after going through it, I felt like I was a part of it. I felt like I was a part of the Holocaust, and it was very scary. And I kind of got a little taste of like what everybody went through. And I just feel so bad because people are still being persecuted today.
We've just seen a group of teens come to understand intolerance. We'll now introduce you to students learning to be part of the solution.
You are here today so that you can do a program called Green Circle in the elementary school for second graders. Green Circle is a program that talks about differences and says that differences are okay in people. The fact that we're all different is what makes us similar. And it's finding that common ground that human beings can relate to. It's giving children skills about allowing people to come inside and outside their world of caring.
We're different in other ways too. It's that we're female and we're male, okay? Is it okay to put, if we're a boy, is it okay to put girls in our circle? Yeah. No.
So these are good friends because she knows about her and she knows about her. So they know about each other. She doesn't look at the color. She looks for the present inside. And that's what differences are. And that's what I'm trying to teach you guys today. To look past the face, past the body, and look for the person inside. We're all equal inside. I want to educate the children, the younger kids, so that they don't grow up in a hate environment. I want them to understand that the differences are good.
Live and Learn will also introduce you to courses that you might have considered taking. For example, this comedy acting class with veteran character actress Kathleen Freeman. What would you say to somebody who's always wanted to be an actor and is afraid?
If this is something that's been a desire, go and find out about it. You know, your daydreams don't mean a darn thing. I mean, you can't come up with daisies in the yard unless you stick them in the ground. So you don't really know what's going to happen to you unless you give a shot. Give it a shot. Now, one of the things that I think is absolutely stunning about acting is the fact that you are in the middle of some incredible literature. So your mind is going to be expanded in any case, whether you actually end up being an actor or not.
What was keeping you from getting involved?
I was afraid. Those people looked bigger than life. And I just didn't think that I could compete or I had what it took. And then one morning I woke up and I said, I can do that. I know I can do that. It was just a matter of changing the way I looked at it. You know, I looked at it as, what would it be if this was something that I had fun with? What if I made it a hobby and I became very good at it? Then what would it be? And the fear left.
We're building a humongous serpent and gardens and trees out of what was formerly just a wasteland, and people would go there and dump cars and break bottles. And it was a really a blight on their community. And now the young people in their own community have taken this land and reclaimed it. And I think that's really exciting, and exciting to be part of it.
Actually, the thing I like most about it is creating something from nothing. This was really just a junkyard when we found it, and we've created something that people can take pride in.
And what was your purpose in creating this park?
My purpose was, as a reaction to the civil madness of last spring in Los Angeles, to give authority and authorize the young people to make a change in their own neighborhood and create something for themselves, as well as their entire neighborhood. And so if we place possibility of learning that taking nothing and making it into something, you take that whole concept, and that applies to so many different aspects of life. My key lecture that I give them all the time is initiative. That initiative will provide them with the ability of tackling the entire world.
The goal of Live and Learn is to find what works in education in order to replicate it. We'll focus in on advancements and struggles in all levels of learning, popularizing education by centering on students, parents, and teachers, empowered to make a difference.